Now, to start with, we have a, today we will be seeing both ends fixed column. So we will be seeing a column which is fixed from both the ends. So this is a column. It is fixed from both the ends, and it carries a axial compressive load of value P, and this P is the crippling load at which the column just starts to buckle under the load. Okay, so if you look at the deflection pattern or the buckling pattern, you can see that it is something like this. So at any distance x, let us say that y is the amount of buckle that has taken place. Now let us complete this free body diagram. If it is fixed from both the ends, then there will be resisting moments at both the ends. So the resisting moment at this point, let us say that it is an anti-clockwise moment of magnitude m naught acting here due to the specific types of load. So this will be balanced by a clockwise moment of moment m naught. So as it is a fixed beam, there will be one reaction in the form of movement also. So that has to be shown in this diagram. So if you have a, let us say that we have a anti-clockwise movement. If this is clockwise, this becomes anti-clockwise. So it is one and the same. If you have a clockwise movement acting of a magnitude m naught here, then you have an anti-clockwise moment of magnitude m naught acting over here, and they counterbalance themselves. Okay, so again, the basic deflection equation, coming to the basic deflection equation, ei d2y by dx2 is equal to m. Okay, so here this can be written as ei d2y by dx2 is equal to, this is m naught minus py. M naught, this m naught is due to a constant moment, and minus py, this is because the nature or the buckling criteria or the buckling shape will carry a negative sign as per the sign convention. Okay, so if you formulate the differential equation, it becomes d2y by dx2 plus p by ei into y is equal to m naught by ei. So this is your differential equation. Again, you need to find out the particular integral and complementary function and determine the solutions. So this general solution of the equation, so the general solution of the differential equation is y is equal to c1 cos x under root e by ei plus c2 sin x under root p by ei plus m naught by p. This is the general solution to this equation. So now let us put the boundary conditions. At x is equal to 0, you have y is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 means at this location, you have y is equal to 0. So if you put down the values, you get C1 is equal to minus m naught by p. Because this is 0, cos 0 is 1. So you have C1 plus sin 0 is 0. So this is removed. So you have C1 plus m naught p is equal to 0. So C1 is equal to minus m naught by p. Okay, so So coming to the other half of the equation, at x is equal to 0, you again have dy by dx is equal to 0. So let us first calculate what is dy by dx. So if you calculate dy by dx, you have minus c1 cos, sorry, minus c1 sine x under root p by ei into bracket again under root p by ei. So this you are differentiating this term. C1 is outside, cos का differentiation हो गया sin, minus sign, so this is minus sign, and the term within the bracket again has to be differentiated, so the differentiation of the term within the bracket is under root p by ei plus C2 cos x under root p by ei and bracket under root p by ei. So this is the differentiation, and if you differentiate m naught by p, m naught is a constant, p is also a constant crippling load, so this is plus 0. We are differentiating with respect to x. So if you put down this boundary condition here, what do you get? 0 is equal to c2 under root p by ei, because x is 0. At x is equal to, if you put x is equal to 0, this entire term vanishes, sin 0. C2, this entire term is cos 1. So, cos 0 is 1. So this is C2 into under root P by EI plus 0 is equal to 0. So this is, so as under root P by EI cannot be equal to 0, we have C2 is equal to 0. Okay. So the final equation now stands at y is equal to minus m naught by p. This is the value of C1 that we have found out from here, plus minus cos x under root p by ei plus m naught by p. So this is your final buckling equation. Again, at x is equal to 0, sorry, at x is equal to L, y is equal to 0. At x is equal to L, again you have y is equal to 0 this end. So if you put down these values, x is equal to L, what do you get? 0 is equal to, or let us not say 0 equal to, इसको ब्रैकेट को दूसरी तरफ ले जाते हैं. So you have m naught by p cos L under root p by ei is equal to m naught by p. So cos L under root p by ei is equal to 1. So the general solutions are 0, 2 pi, 4 pi. So these are the general solutions. So again, considering first practical value. Now why I am saying first practical value, 0 is also a solution, but it cannot be accepted as a solution, because then everything will vanish off. This entire equation will be removed. You will have a constant in the form of m naught by p, which is not acceptable. So the first practical value or first numerical value which gives you a practical solution is 2 pi. So you have L under root P by EI is equal to 2 pi. So you have P is equal to 4 pi square Pi by L square. So this is your final equation for a beam which is uh, fixed from both the ends. Now, the last type of column is one end fixed, other hinged. Okay, so now let us see this type of column. So this is a column and it is acted upon by a axially compressive load of magnitude P. So if you look at the buckling pattern, it is something like this. So at any x distance, let us say y is the amount of buckling that has taken place. Now this is a fixed support here. So if this is a fixed support here, that means it will carry some moment. Let us say it carries a moment of magnitude m naught here. Okay, and this is L is the length of the column. Now the problem here is you have an m naught acting here. So if you have an m naught acting here, this is the effect. What is the cause? You actually do not have a cause behind it. And as I have already told you that without a cause and effect, it does not classify or come under the equation of a term which can be used. So as you know that this is a fixed support, it will carry some moment of magnitude, let us say m or m naught, and this has this does not have an cause which is leading to the production of this moment. So what we do is we try to find a source for it. So to find a source, what we are doing is let us apply a force, horizontal force of magnitude h. Now the significance of this is h is a hypothetical force. H is a hypothetical force, or you can say it is an imaginary force. Why we have applied this imaginary force? So that we come to the conclusion that this m naught in anti-clockwise direction is produced due to this h force which is producing a clockwise moment, because this has to be balanced. If it is not balanced or it is not under equilibrium, so there is no purpose of actually solving it. So this h is a hypothetical or an imaginary force which has been applied so that you have a system which is defined. Now, when you are specifying a hypothetical force or an imaginary force, it has to be understood that at the end of the problem, either h should turn out to be 0 or h should be completely eliminated from the equation. Because if it comes out with a magnitude, then it cannot be classified under an imaginary force or a hypothetical force. So, again, let us write down the basic deflection equation which is used for buckling. Ei d2y by dx2 is equal to m. Here m is equal to minus py at any distance x. If you are finding out the moment, this is minus py. Why it is minus? Because this is due to the production of minus is due to the sign convention, and py is the instantaneous moment at a distance x. Now there has to be an instantaneous moment produced due to this h also. So this is plus h into L minus x. Okay, because this is clockwise in nature. Now, if you put down these values here, you have EI d2y by dx2 is equal to minus py plus h into L minus x. If you rearrange the terms, you have d2y by dx2 plus p by ei into y is equal to h L minus x divided by ei. Now the general solution for this differential equation is, if you look at the general solution, you have y is equal to c1 cos x under root p by ei plus c2 sin x under root p by ei plus h by p into L minus x. Okay, so at now if you apply the first boundary conditions at x is equal to 0, again you have y is equal to 0. So C1 becomes equal to minus h by p into L. ठीक है, ये कैसे आया? This is 0, this is 1, cos 0 is 1. So you have C1 plus, this is 0, so C1 plus h by p L, HL by p is equal to 0. So C1 is equal to minus HL by p. Okay, so now let us come to the other boundary conditions. At x is equal to 0, you have dy by dx again equal to 0. So let us find out dy by dx. So dy by dx is equal to minus c1 sine x under root p by ei into under root p by ei plus c2 cos x under root p by ei into under root p by ei minus h by p. So the differentiation of this is minus h by p. So if you put down this boundary condition, in this you have C2 is equal to h by p under root ei by p. How are you getting this? This is 0. This is 0. You have C2 cos. So cos of this is 1. So C2 into P under root EI minus H by P is equal to 0. So H by P you take it on the other side. So C2 becomes equal to H by P EI by P. So this is you get the value of C2. So the final equation now becomes y is equal to minus H by P cos x under root p by ei plus, you know the value of the C2 also, h by p under root ei by p sine x under root p by ei plus h by p into L minus x. Okay, so this is your final equation till now. So this was your final equation for y. So you know the value of C1, you know the value of C2, and you have this final equation in this form. So the next boundary condition is at x is equal to L, you again have y is equal to 0. So if you put this boundary condition, what do you get? This term vanishes off. This term will no longer exist. Okay, so you have h by p. If you are taking this term on the other side, h by p L cos L under root p by ei is equal to h by p under root ei by p sin L under root p by ei. Okay. So this term you have taken to the other side of the bracket. So you can write down h by p and h by p, they cancel out from both the sides. So you have tan L under root p by ei. So sin by cos is equal to L under root p by ei. So now the general solution is, if you look at the general solution, it says that tan of the number is the number itself. So if you look at this general solution, this you need to remember that tan of the number is the number itself. So the closest solution, general, or you can say the closest or the most accepted is 4.5 radians. So this means that L under root P by EI is equal to 4.5. So you have P by L square. This means L square P by EI is equal to 20.25, 4.5 whole square. Now 20.25 is approximately equal to 2 pi square. Approximately equal to 2 pi square. So P can be written as P is equal to 2 pi square EI divided by L square. So this is your final equation for P, written as P is equal to 2 pi square EI by L square. So for column which is supported, which is fixed at one end, at the other end is hinged, you have the equation for clipping load as 2 pi square EI by L square.